Ladies and gentlemen, and now Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Sport proud to present 12 rounds of boxing, world title eliminator and the vacant WBC
Вирусная база данных успешно обновлена.
Championship, sponsored by 888 Sport, Lonsdale and Swelterware. We are live on Sky Sports, continuing to bring you the very best ringside seat in the business. And for the millions of viewers joining us live in the United States of America on AWE, a wealth of entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful city of Cardiff! All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control and the WBC, whose supervisor from Italy is Mauro Betti. He's joined by our steward in charge, Mr. John Rees, QC. Timekeeper at the bell from Monmouth is David Waters. And our three scoring judges from Gillingham, England, Mr. Ian John Lewis. From Wellingborough, England, Mr. John Keane. And from Mexico, Jose Manzo. And when the bell rings and the action begins, the man in the middle, the man in charge from Roma, Italy, Massimo Barivecchio. And now, here we go, introducing to you, fighting out of the red corner when the black trunks trimmed with green, white and red. Weighing in at 8 stone, 13 pounds, 4 ounces, 24 fight record, 21 wins, 12 inside the scheduled distance and 3 defeats. From San Luis Potosí, Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, Romulo Koasicha! And now, here he is, fighting out of the blue corner wearing the white trunks trimmed with gold, weighing in at 8 stone, 13 pounds, 6 ounces, 19 fight record, 18 wins, 7 inside the scheduled distance, and just 1 defeat. The former British and Commonwealth featherweight champion and the reigning European featherweight champion from Bahrain, it's Lee Selby! So that's it, the waiting's over, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC International Featherweight Championship.
Hey. Remember what I said in the dressing room. No rabbit punch, no headbutt, no low blow. Suerte. Good luck. Okay.
Massimo Barivecchio of Italy, an experienced and capable referee, the third man in the ring. And the entourage is clear out. Koasicha's corner is led by his father Armando. His brother also has the same name as himself, Romulo. They're both called Romulo Koasicha. He's in the entourage as well, but some very experienced and capable cornermen amongst the Koasicha entourage. He has not come here to make up numbers. A massive opportunity for him. But Selby, who's had 1 or 2 relatively flat performances, doesn't need another one here. And Tony Borg, his trainer, was saying, we've looked at Koasicha on tape, we certainly want to keep it long for the first few rounds. Establish the jab and then build from there. Might be easier said than done against an opponent who you would think is set on getting in and getting close. Physically, the preparations have been great for Selby this time. No injuries, no problems. And some sparring at home with the likes of the Buckland brothers and Gary Sykes. And last month, he went with his manager Chris Sanagar and did a tour of some of the gyms in Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, including the Wild Card. He's had some very high level of sparring indeed. Sparred with Ricky Burns a couple of months ago as well, ahead of the Terence Crawford fight. That just gives you an indication of the sort of level he's at these days. Nice sharp start this from Selby.
Yes, a good start from Selby, getting the jabs. You know, they're not power jabs, but they're sharp, they're quick and they're accurate. I think you can see already Koasicha knows how to manoeuvre opponents. You know, he doesn't throw, he gets close before he lets his punches go. So, early impressions are he's competent. How good he is, we'll find out as we go. Yeah, good jab of his own there.
Good work with the left hand here early on, Selby. And a couple of sneaky little lefts that Koasicha did not see coming. There's one flaw in Selby's game. Domestically, it's always been too easy for him, and he admits he's neglected his defences, knows he has to improve that side of his game as he goes up the ladder.
Well, of course, he looks strong, he looks solid enough, and he knows how to get close before he lets his punches go. This fella doesn't look too bad. So Selby wants to be his best, he wants to put meat into his punches as this one develops. Doesn't want to just be flicking with punches, get some snap into them, but this is some good accurate work from here. Get around in the bank.
Decent body shot from Koasicha. There's one in reply.
Yeah, a little bit low though.
It was a bit low. And the referee immediately saw it. Wild from the Mexican. Selby setting a high tempo. The accuracy is pretty good as well.
Yeah, and he's frustrating the visitor. Always nice to get the first round in the bank if you can do it. And so far, Selby is doing that. The movement's been good. Nice little sharp counter punches. No snap in them, but plenty of time for that. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm just sending out the message to Koasicha. If you do step in and engage, you're going to get caught. A solid opening 3 minutes from Lee Selby.
Tom Tyrrell wrote on the Paddy Power Facebook page, "Stop trying to make funny adverts and give us an iPad app, Paddy." Fine, we hear you, Tom. Our app is designed specifically for the flicky whooshness of the iPad. Just flicky whoosh to the live betting, flicky whoosh through the matches, pick a match, nice little shortcut to next goal scorer, and simpler than a footballer's autobiography, your bet is placed. Sign up now, bet £10 and get £20 in free bets. Download Paddy Power's new iPad app now.
As he steps, you fire. Yeah, don't let him lead. You lead your jab. But you give him the jab. You've got a better jab than him. Use it. Right? You need to go to one end. Smash the right hand over the top.
Yeah, good start there. You know, he's got right down to work, looking nice and sharp. Accurate punches. That was about the best punch of the round from him, the right hand lead. Yep, I think this is going to be quite entertaining.
Round 2 of this 12-rounder, this eliminator for the WBC title. Currently held by another Mexican, Johnny Gonzalez, who defends next week for the first time against the Guyanan Clive Atwell. But as I say, Selby, you look down the ratings of the sanctioning bodies, his name pops up all over the place.
He's just carrying on there, trying to frustrate Koasicha.
Koasicha looking to try and step up the tempo here. And will he leave himself open?
Well, then Koasicha realises he's going to have to take some chances. He's been frustrated, difficulty pinning Selby down, so he's going to have to be prepared to miss with some punches, but let them go in combinations.
Time we saw Lee Selby against somebody who was on the front foot constantly was the Romanian Theodel Simeon, and had a hard time that night, Selby. Later revealed he damaged his hand during that fight. But this is another fella who's obviously going to come and stick it to him. But he will get caught if he does that as well.
So this looks like a fella who won't be easily discouraged. You know, he's marching forward. And Selby still trying to frustrate him, keep on the move. But it's nice if you can get these guys respect for some good solid punches every now and again.
That was nice again. The elusiveness from Selby, but I mentioned that Simeon fight because Selby could never discourage the Romanian that night. And it was a hard old battle in the end. Certainly Koasicha is looking to come and test Selby's resolve.
See, he gets close and throws nice short punches. They're not long, swinging, hopeful shots. He knows he has to get close before he unloads, and that's him. He's managing to do that. You know, this is a match. This might get tougher for Selby as it goes along.
I mentioned in the first round some of Selby's counter-punching. There's another example of it there as Koasicha missed badly and got popped as a result with a right hand. Last few seconds of this second round. Nice body shot from Selby. But we're still continuing to do the more eye-catching and effective work.
This is the weekend where dreams become reality, and England welcomes in
2 rounds done of this WBC eliminator. There is a belt on the line, the WBC International Featherweight title.
Now we're seeing some good movement from Selby. You know, he's finding the target with some nice counters, not a lot of snap behind the punches. But there's a few things to like about Koasicha. He knows how to get close. He doesn't throw wild punches, he's pretty controlled. So maybe he'll get more success when the pace slows down.
But young at 23 and inexperienced, relatively speaking, never travelled outside of Mexico. Doesn't seem to be bothering him at all, does it?
Well, Selby taking it to him a little bit more at the beginning of this round. That's not a bad idea. Find out how the guy is on the back foot. You can get him there.
Sharp left hand, Selby. Oh, got caught there though. Decent combination. And a terrific response from Selby. He got tagged and took the fight straight to Koasicha.
See, I really feel Selby has to put some power into the punch. This is a guy who needs to be discouraged. You have to stop the march forward. And this is better. There's quality in the punches. These are not little popping punches now.
Well, that was a razor-sharp combination from Koasicha. Selby knew he had to do something about that. The first real warning sign for Lee Selby that this is not going to be an easy night. Caught him there with a nice left hook though, Selby. That was better. A straight right, but Koasicha keeps on coming.
Selby's going to have to be careful leading to the body. Nice tight defence of Koasicha, so a couple of times he led to the body, exposed his chin a little bit. Koasicha still that kind of solid look. It's Selby outworking him.
Nice right hand, Selby. Koasicha takes some risks and wastes some effort as well. Hitting the arms of Selby there. Oh, nicely caught again. Straight right hand, but Koasicha's absorbed that one. Decent response though from Selby after getting tagged early in this round.
Now this is the way we want to see Selby perform. You know, lack of drama in a couple of his previous performances, but always kind of boxing within himself. But I think he realises he's going to have to perform. This guy is setting a hot pace.
Yeah, and it really has sharpened Selby's game up. And again, a lot of wasted effort from Koasicha.
But he still knows he has to get close. Look at the way he's getting his feet close, you know, before he throws punches. Good right hand from Selby. Well, he's bringing out the best in Lee Selby, that's for sure.
And that's it, and because he gets in close, Jim, and we talked about this, he is taking a couple of risks here, Koasicha. And there are openings for Selby. Well, that little warning shot across the bows for the Welshman hasn't done him any harm. He really stepped his game up. He had to.
Frotch, Groves.
50-50 fight.
I just can't call a winner.
Nobody really knows how Frotch knocks George Groves out.
But I think George has got the edge.
Frotch, clear stoppage. Groves on point. Frotch to win.
Groves to win.
Carl Frotch quickly this time.
George.
Frotch might just do it.
Groves to win by KO.
Frotch for me.
Groves to win it.
Frotch is in that. Groves.
Frotch. Groves. Frotch.
Grove. Let's have it.
Frotch Groves 2, Unfinished Business, coming soon on Sky Sports Box Office.
Order now, press the green button or see skysports.com/Frochgroves2.
No right hands to the body. Listen now. The right hand stays there. You need him in the left hand.
No, good round from Selby, good response and some good action, but he was made to work every second of that round.
Corner is 10 seconds.
And nothing he did made any great impression on Koasicha. So yep, signs are this is going to be a tough night's work for him.
Here's Selby in the white. Romulo Koasicha from Mexico. Asking some questions. So far, Selby looking comfortable and composed.
Koasicha just trying to draw some leads, trying different tack here. Now he's setting himself a little bit more. He's cut down on the work rate. I think he's looking for big shots here.
His footwork looking effective there, the way Selby tried this. Oh, caught him with the left hand there as well, Koasicha. His footwork, he keeps cutting down the ring on Selby.
Yeah, you can see he's a decent pressure fighter. You know, the sharpness of Selby's punches, and that's lovely right hand lead. You know, he's doing unusual things, unexpected things, catching Koasicha napping here and there. This is good.
Decent chin Koasicha seems to have. Selby's bounced a few right hands off that jaw. Hasn't rocked him. There again, nice work, Selby. But I don't think he's getting rid of this fella in a hurry, Jim. I really don't.
No, he's not put any dent yet. A good solid jab. Yeah, I like when Selby moves in behind these punches. Koasicha is persistent, but I don't think he has anything more to show us. I think we've seen pretty much what he does. He's aggressive, he can walk opponents down, but just not getting his punches off quickly enough.
Did he feel that body shot, Koasicha, there? Right? Selby just dug in that left to the body, and there was a momentary wince from the Mexican. If he did feel it, it was only momentarily. He's back on his groove again.
Selby just when they warned the referee for fending off, just putting the glove on Koasicha's forehead, pushing him back. But that still boxing well. Still frustrating the Mexican.
He's got a right hand through there, Koasicha. He's just not landing cleanly enough while all the pressure is coming. He is being outboxed and outworked by Selby, who is cleaner, more methodical, more variety in his work as well. But Koasicha certainly has his full attention. Watching this one at ringside, Mickey Piper, he's with Ed.
Well, Koasicha's so lively, isn't he? Selby's been made to work for every second of every round.
He really is. He's young and he's determined, and he's a very brave fighter, but actually quite talented too. Lee Selby is a brilliant boxer himself, but he found it so difficult to start letting the punches fly. He's now relaxing and he's starting to work out his opponent, and the punches are starting to flow. It's looking like a long night, but probably a clear victory for Selby on points, I think.
Selby's probably outboxing the Mexican opponent at the moment. Has he got the power to perhaps stop him?
Selby in his last couple of years has shown he's got quite a bit of power in those punches. I think when he starts to let the punches go and then eventually works his opponent out, he might eventually land the punch, but it looks like points at the moment.
Thank you, Nicky.
Thanks, Nicky. Interesting question about the power that Lee Selby brings, because Viorel Simeon went the distance with him. Ryan Walsh caused him problems. You know, they said, oh, well, Selby got cut early, that bothered him. But Martin Lindsay, okay, it was very one-sided. He went the distance with Selby as well. So there are question marks there about just how much power he packs.
I think it's his temperament. Like, I don't think he goes looking for the knockout. Even against Brendan Monroe, he seemed happy putting a show on. Waving to the referee. In a couple of the fights that you mentioned, he didn't seem bothered about the stoppage. So, I mean, I'm just thinking if you want to pack arenas, then you want to inject a little bit of drama. He's putting Koasicha onto the back foot here. That's a good start. If they can do that, he'll take away a lot of what Koasicha has. So I don't know, is Koasicha trying something clever here? Trying to draw him onto something? I don't know. But keep him on the back foot. The job's half done, I would say.
It doesn't look a natural home for Koasicha, does it?
I think he feels much better coming forward. He was shaking his head in the corner as though he was very frustrated. And I mean, this is a strange body language for him here. He's not putting anything into this. I wonder if a couple of the punches that have landed have been a little bit harder than we thought. We're not seeing that drive. That's better from him.
The tempo that has slowed right down. You don't think we'll play the Koasicha who just caught a combination at the back end of that exchange as well. And again, it's Selby that catches the eye. And speaking of the eye, there's some damage around that right eye of Selby. Where did that come from? Was that a clash of heads? Must have been. I didn't see a punch land. He was cut against Ryan Walsh and it bothered him.
Yeah, well, I expected more momentum from Koasicha. I thought the longer it would go, the closer it would get. It would raise the tempo, but he stood off in this round. And he's been outboxed again. So I wonder if the frustration... That was a good shot. Felt that one. Now this is good controlled boxing from Selby. He's not making any mistakes. Concentration is good. There is warned for placing the palm in the forehead again.
And now Koasicha has shed that sort of...
That's a good body shot.
Yeah. He's coming forward again, Koasicha. Again, with limited success, although there is some damage around that eye, but not for the first time. You said it, Jim. Some of those Selby body shots are dug in.
And I would imagine that Koasicha has never faced an opponent like he boxes in Mexico. This is not his idea of boxing.
But some work needed on that right eye. And his manager, Chris Sanagar, doubles up as cuts man as well. So he takes centre stage.
Just moving to your left now, okay? Move to your left and put your left up over your shots. Nail it. I'll be alright in no time now.
Can you see blood, man? No? Blood in your eyes?
Tissue or towel.
Can you see?
Now we saw some nice crisp punching in that round from Selby. He stopped the march forward of Koasicha. They got on the front foot, got some snap into the shots, and kind of signs that the frustration is getting to the Mexican.
Although we concentrated on Selby's corner as the repairs were done to the eye, there was some big conversations going on in the Koasicha corner, and there was a lot of talking back coming from the boxer himself. There seemed to be, we don't speak Spanish, but there was definitely some kind of heated discussion going on.
Yeah, I just think, he's done all his boxing in Mexico, and we know how the Mexican crowds demand, good action. I bet he's never faced anyone who boxes like this. I just don't think he knows quite how to cope with this.
Well, I think he's getting conflicting advice from the corner, as his father is out of the ring. And he turned to him at one point and started talking to him, while the guys who were working inside the corner with him were telling him something else.
Well, I thought this was a fight that would get tougher for Selby, but it's looking as though Koasicha's actually run out of ideas. He has to raise the tempo. He cannot allow Selby to control the tempo the way he's doing. That's more like it. Has to take some chances, get some punches off, be prepared to miss. He's trying to be precise and it's not working.
And for the first time in the fight as well, we're seeing a bit of swagger from Lee Selby. He's starting to settle down and enjoy this. And Chris Sanagar, by the way, has done a terrific job on that cut. He's caught in no man's land here, Koasicha, isn't he? He doesn't quite know what to do now.
Yeah, but he's trying to be precise. When maybe be prepared to miss with a couple of shots, get them out in 4s and 5s. Put the power into that's more like it. That's what he has to do. That's the kind of action that will cause Selby some problems.
Yeah, Selby got his gloves up and defended well there. Again, just using his reach, Selby, that long right hand getting through.
A nice little feint there from Selby too. Yeah, he's putting on a bit of a show now. That's lovely.
And of course, if Koasicha does start to tire, the head movement he's going to suffer. Nice body shot again, continuing the variety, Selby. Not just head hunting, just digging in once in a while downstairs. He's open to the body shots, Koasicha.
Well, he's trying to raise the tempo at least, Koasicha. But not too elusive. Can't get the punches home cleanly.
It's just looking more comfortable and more controlled now from the Welshman.
I think it's maybe a mark of just how good Lee Selby's becoming, because this guy looks like a decent fighter in the first couple of rounds.
Certainly that Selby has this under control. The stats, if they're to be believed, would back that up. We heard in the last round Nicky Piper saying that Selby will now settle down and go on to a wide points decision. I think he'll take that right now, Selby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting the impression the stats flatter the Mexican a little bit. You know, I mean, we're seeing the clean punches, the accurate shots are really coming from Lee Selby.
Well, certainly the last 2 rounds. For me, Koasicha has offered very, very little. That's why I think he's got a conflicting game plan he's trying to deal with here. He doesn't quite know what it is he's trying to do.
Well, keeping in mind, this is us trying to move Lee Selby into world class. So this is where he has to put a stamp on this. You know, technically he's better than this fellow, so now he has to put his stamp on it. He has to take the fight to Koasicha and it shows that he's a world-class puncher.
That should be expected. You know, I said you'll see Selby's name all over the ratings of all the sanctioning bodies. You don't see much of Koasicha's name. He's a young prospect. The WBC have popped him in the top 15 just to make this one happen, but everybody would expect Selby to win this and win it comfortably. He's getting through here, a couple of uppercuts from Koasicha as Selby just seemed to take his foot off the gas altogether there.
He just seemed to lose his composure there. I don't know if it was a balance thing. He didn't seem hurt by it.
Koasicha continuing to try and draw leads, set some traps, see if he can bait Selby into a mistake. Well, I've still got the sense to him this is taking him out of his natural game.
Yeah, just can't pin Selby down. He's going about the job with a bit more vigour now, but struggling to land cleanly.
Landed cleanly at the end of that exchange, though, the left hand getting through. Not before Selby bounced a combination off his head. A little body shot from Selby, but Koasicha handle that straight left as well. He can take a shot from the Mexican. That's no surprise.
Well, a couple of little bits of success for Koasicha in this round, but obviously not enough. But I wonder maybe to cut down on his frustration. At least he's got close. He's got some punches home.
Selby again with a sharp right hand at the end of the exchange.
He leaves nothing unanswered. You know, every punch Koasicha has landed, Selby's come back immediately with a counter. Lovely stuff.
prison break from the very beginning.
I'm getting you out of here. It's impossible. Not if you design the place, it isn't.
What are the charges?
Attempted murder.
What are you talking about? You found Stedman. Where he plans to run to, how he plans to get there, we'll be waiting for him. Well, he takes us to the card holder, and the card holder takes us to Scylla.
Box sets of all 4 series, now available on demand.
The punches in there all night. Let's say the man's moving again, right? Double a jab up right then, and look for the gap. There's a gap there, he's going to jab up.
Yeah, well, it's as though Selby found the answers pretty early and he's just stuck with that. That's just his uncomfortable moment. There was probably only one solid punch got through there. He just lost his composure and left his chin out to dry, which is unusual.
Round 8.
Meanwhile, the unhappiness in the Mexican corner continues. The universal language, it's okay, okay. And the body language saying just throw more punches. Well, they know and they understand that Koasicha is doing little, if anything, to catch the judge's eye here. We have 2 from England, 1 from Mexico, incidentally.
And when he does miss, you know, he's been pinned by a couple of good solid shots. There's one there. And I think there's a little bit more meat going into Selby's punches. And that's what we want to see. We're moving up to world level. Then you have to get the respect of guys at that level. He's got some really clever moves though, hasn't he?
He really has. I wonder when he'll be ready for that world title shot. You know, you talk to the people around him, they still say no rush, we're not ready yet. A little bit of caution when you talk to the Sanagars and Tony Borg. Tony Borg says there's levels yet that he hasn't even reached. But maybe Johnny Gonzalez, the champion, will be too big a step next time.
Yeah, well, when a fighter's improving as he goes along, then you want to wait, want to give him his chance, make sure he's totally prepared. And Selby is improving, he's learning, he's loving the business, so I wouldn't be in any great hurry.
Well, he needs a fight against a top 4 or 5 contender, doesn't he? And this fella does not fit that bill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, they've gone looking for this fellow. He's in the lower reaches of the world rating, so it'd be nice to see maybe even Selby against someone who's fought for a world title, you know, put up a decent show at the top level, just to see how he fares at that level. I mean, he's doing as he pleases a lot of the time here.
Oh, that was a good left hand there from the Mexican, and Selby's backing up.
Grabbing hold.
He felt that. And they've gone crazy in Koasicha's corner. They sense it and they see it, and just look at Selby hanging on here. He was shaken.
Yeah, Koasicha's trying to keep his cool, winding up the left hook again.
Selby again showing his powers of recovery, but that was a mistake. And we just talked about the highest level, Jim. That's the kind of mistake you wouldn't get away with.
Yeah, well, he was certainly shaken by that punch. His head's cleared now, but he was quite keen to hold, just to survive. Yeah, well, he's boxing back together again, but there's a big drive from Koasicha in this round. Missing a lot. They're getting close.
Well, a wake-up call there for Lee Selby. He did the right thing, he held and spoiled and got the head clear, but he got dinged.
Right? Just keep doing more of the same, right? You've got to look at the nailing, look for the gaps. When he turns it nice and tight, just spray him with 4 or 5 shots and then nail him. And then don't look for 1 shot from out the range. Spray him with 4 or 5 pass downs, he covers up nice and tight and then nail him.
Yeah, well, a little crisis for Lee Selby to deal with. Things were going fine in that round, and he was caught with just leaving his chin. See, I said earlier on in the fight that it's dangerous when he leads to the body. You know, he bends down and leads with the left hand to the body, takes a chance, leaves himself exposed, and he was punished then and looked quite keen to grab hold. I don't think that little burst was enough for Koasicha to win the round, but it was certainly enough just to show Lee Selby can't afford to take chances here.
Selby always takes pride in the fact that he can take a shot, but he doesn't want to be taking shots like that. Imagine if Johnny Gonzalez had landed that one. He wipes out Alfred Morris in such dramatic fashion. Round 9. Give Koasicha renewed hope that he can still turn this around. Good response there from Selby after he got caught.
Koasicha has his enthusiasm back, thankfully. Raising the pace, going for broke a little bit more, which he must do.
Well, they seem to have abandoned that plan of trying to turn Koasicha into a counter-puncher, because that wasn't going to work. Back to doing what comes naturally to him. But he will get caught doing that. But as yet, one body shot a few rounds ago, Jim. The only time I thought I saw him blink. It's the only time Selby's managed to hurt him. He does take a shot. Selby looking more controlled and confident again and keeping it long. This is exactly where he wants it to be. Koasicha taking his time before he mounts his next attack. That didn't work. This is too easy, this for Selby.
Selby's boxing well. He's just he's offering nothing. Constant movement, putting punches together, usually in 2s, sometimes 3. So yeah, just putting on a little exhibition. Good stuff. Nice left hook there.
Let's see if Koasicha can find something here. Just knock Selby out of his comfort zone, because it's been too easy this 9th round for Lee Selby. Back to doing what he enjoys, dictating the terms. Well, this is exactly what Koasicha did not need after that moment in the last round where you thought, hello, he's shaken Selby here. He needed to come up with something. And so far, he's offered almost nothing in this 9th round. Getting through there with the right hand in the end, but he's left it a bit late, then catches a little uppercut as well.
Well, at least he's trying to raise the tempo. I think he knows he has to go for broke. But the more he does that, the more mistakes he makes, the more counter. Well, Koasicha's still going back to an unhappy corner. They're trying to fire him up. But I think that there was plenty of fire from him in that round, but unfortunately, not a great level of success. He's making mistakes now because of the desperation in his boxing and being punished for them.
A much better round there for Lee Selby. Round 10 of this 12-rounder. Talk about the unhappy corner. There's just too many voices going on there. You sometimes get that in Selby's corner as well. Chris Sanagar, who just oozes enthusiasm. He can't resist chipping in every so often. But Tony Ball runs that corner. You just don't get the sense anybody's running the Koasicha corner. He doesn't really know where to look.
Koasicha trying to put full power into the punches now. His desperation stuff, this is when he may become a little bit dangerous.
Well, he's not nicking it on points. Everybody can see that. He's got to try and blast through Selby. See if he can put him on the floor and take him somewhere he's never been. It's the one early defeat for Lee Selby against Samimi Nimni. That was over 4 rounds, and so long ago as to be pretty much irrelevant. He wasn't on the floor, in trouble in that one. Good body shots coming in from Selby. Ooh, that was a nice right hand there from Koasicha. He continues to have the odd moment every once in a while and then catches a left like that when he leaves himself open. And another left hook from Selby.
I think that's been the important thing for Selby. You know, he's been caught a few times in the fight, but he's always answered. And he's always come straight back with something of his own.
And the one time he did get stunned, he had the boxing awareness to grab hold and just hang on and buy a little bit of time.
Yep, and he's you know, caught again with a left hook. I mean, he does have a loose defence. I mean, there's good body movement, good reflexes, but he does take chances at times. Good work there from Koasicha.
He admits that himself. And you do wonder what's going to happen when he goes to the very highest level. You can't just suddenly turn your defensive work on. But sometimes, as I say earlier in his career, it's just been too easy for him. Doesn't get easy at the elite level. His ability to take a shot. No doubt about that, because Koasicha has had success. And apart from that one little wobble, never been able to capitalise.
Well, it's just been a more even round, this one. Selby stood his ground a little bit more.
Well, you say more even, I say scrappy.
Suck it in.
Two fellows starting to feel the pace.
Fill up your mouth, fill up your lungs, right? Good. Listen, keep that jab around, right down low top, push him back. When he goes back to the ups end, just 3 with the 4 5 shots, then just step on the side again. You're not standing 3 with him all day. You're winning every round, you're boxing him, you're punching him. Right? It's entertaining.
It's a pleasure to watch.
Everyone's enjoying it, it's quality, right?
Joshua.
Joe.
Fucking keep your mouth
closed. Mouth close, bite your gum shield.
Not surprised his jaw's sore. He has been caught.
Busca el knockout porque no hay otra. ¿Oíste?
Here, where we have the father and the brother listed, there's more than 2 people working that corner. Round 11. 2 rounds left. Winning every round and putting on a show, Lee Selby's cornermen say.
Keep your right hand up!
It is tough to make any kind of case for Koasicha being anywhere near him on the scorecards.
No, he's had a couple of good spells in some of the rounds. He's made them competitive, but for most of the time, you know, he's been chasing shadows, just couldn't pin Selby down. I'm just trying to judge what he's done tonight. Can he take that up to the top level, or does he need a little bit more, or is he just doing what's required on the night? And there's more to come if it's necessary. I mean, he's boxed beautifully, there's no getting away from that. Putting punches together nicely, you know, constant movement, not taking too much back.
And answering when he does get caught.
Yep, that's right.
Well, you may not give him 10 out of 10, but you're not going to be far short. And again, solid, hurtful punches ripping through from Lee Selby. There's an uppercut. Too quick, too sharp, and too fast as well. I think if you talk to his connections after this, it'll be interesting to see what they have to say. That this guy is not top-level world class. And for an eliminator, you kind of think, well, what has Koasicha done to deserve an eliminator in his career? Not a lot, quite frankly. Selby needs a stiffer test than this before he's ready to be thrown onto the world stage.
Well, I think, as you said earlier, the camp reckon, no, you know, he's still not quite ready. Well, yeah, they're going to have to step him up. We haven't really found anything out tonight. He's beating a guy that he's better than tonight. Yeah, just a couple of little signs of danger from Koasicha, so he has to go for it, and that's what he's doing.
Still plodding forward here in the last 30 seconds or so, and getting a little cuffing left hand. Still, Selby finding the target too regularly and too easily. Nice combination again from Selby. His punches continue to flow. Koasicha showing great willing here. Against that, assuming he does lose, he's going to go back to Mexico at 23 years of age with a lot of experience he's gathered tonight. But Selby, 3 minutes away from moving up to the next level.
Lovely boxing. That's all enough. Yeah. No, we ain't going to throw nothing
away.
Nice
Worsened up, which is why Christianagar's had to jump back in.
Keep them boxing lesson. Right.
But a non-factor.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You're actually stronger than him. Right, don't let him push forward.
Yeah, again, some lovely punching, accurate, imaginative shots from Selby. Does take the chances defensively, but keeps his eye on the ball and just takes the sting out of that clumping right hand. Hasn't done too much wrong tonight.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Yep, the last round of this WBC featherweight eliminator. Lee Selby on my card, Jim. We haven't really talked about your card too much the longer this one has gone on, because Selby for me has got it by a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of times, a couple of bits of success. You felt you would like to be kind to Koasicha, but he's never sustained it. And Selby just always seems to be a move ahead. I mean, especially the last couple of rounds, he's in a bit of a drive. He's made things uncomfortable for Selby, but not a lot of accuracy.
Worth repeating again, though, he is up against a very durable opponent. 3 defeats against Koasicha's name, but all of them on points. Nice left hand there, and he does get the punch well. Selby looking to unload here in that last round and see just how good that chin is.
I mean, he certainly keeps his mind on the job at Selby. He drops his hands, but his reflexes are good, and his concentration's been excellent.
And I think Selby's got some wise heads around him in his team as well. They said he's not quite ready for the world stage yet, and they are right. But it's another step up. It's another question answered.
Yeah, I don't think what he's produced tonight would win him a world title, but he's improving all the time. So they're as well waiting until he's fully ready. And you always get the feeling if a little bit more was needed, then he's got that.
Yes, yeah, he can go through the gears, can't he? Coming up to the last minute or so, Koasicha plodding forward, hopefully. Time running out for Koasicha. Selby on top, as he has been pretty much throughout the fight. They'd love to see the stoppage here. I don't think they're going to get it. Koasicha's still looking as strong as he did in that first round. He's tough.
Well, his problem is he shouldn't have anything left in the tank. He should have poured everything out earlier. Set this kind of tempo. Okay, maybe he would have run onto trouble, we don't know. But you like to know at the end of an eliminator you've given it everything you have. You don't want to go home with a tank that's half full. But you just get the feeling that anything he had done, Selby would have found an answer for it.
Yeah, and that damage around the eye just worsening, but we're inside the last few seconds here. And the only question that remains is how wide a margin are you going to give this to Lee Selby? As I say, 2 English judges, Ian John Lewis and John Keane, and 1 from Mexico, Jose Manzur. It'll be over to them. They're happy enough here in Cardiff. Selby looks happy enough. His team certainly very happy. And when you look at the stats, they should be delighted. Landslide.
I'm the baddest featherweight on the planet. All right. I'm bad.
You can't get a word out of him when he's not in the ring. Suddenly he gets chatty inside it as well. Well, while we wait for the scorecards to be tallied, let's get some more thoughts from Nicky Piper, who's with it.
Well, Nicky Piper predicted a points win for Lee Selby. He looks good, but is he ready for a world title shot?
Well, yes, I think he is. He was in against, it was a good workout in my opinion. He was in against a very tough and determined Mexican. You know, that guy lives at 6,000 feet above sea level. He's very, very fit, takes punches all night, as a typical Mexican does. So, you know, it's good preparation for when he gets the world title shot. Lee Selby oozes class, you can see that, and I think he is ready for a world title shot.
We really still don't know how good he is, do we?
Well, it's tough, you know. The last 2 years he has been punching quite hard, you know. That doesn't really show you, but I think that opponent was a lot better than he actually looked. You know, he was a good boxer, very, very tough, very durable, very fit, and he came to win. You could see the corner really banging on the ring canvas there, trying to get him to go forward. So I think he didn't come here to lay down. It was a good preparation for Lee Selby.
Lee boxed smartly, didn't he? He didn't get too involved. He took 1 or 2 punches, but overall stuck to orders.
Yeah, I mean, he took quite a few punches there, actually. You know, he does take a good shot, but he always came back with 1 or 2 more, and always had the last word in the combinations and the exchanges. So, you know, you can never get the perfect fight. You can't look great all the time, but I think tonight's good preparation, and I think he should be pleased with what he's done tonight.
Let's hear the MC's decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, the judges' scorecards read 119, 109, 119, 109, 119, 110. All 3 judges are in favour of the winner. And a new WBC International Featherweight Champion from Barry, Lee Selby.
2 points win for Lee Selby.
Will now present the championship.
And that really is the only question. Nicky says yes, he's ready. His connections say, well, maybe he's not ready. But the one thing we can all agree on is Lee Selby continues to move in the right direction.
Yeah, it was an excellent performance. You know, it was pretty faultless. He boxed, you know, with total concentration for 12 rounds. But, you know, I mean, it's no good saying he can do more if he needed to do more. We need to actually see him doing that. And we need to see him against a real live opponent. I mean, to be honest, Koasicha, he was fit, he was determined, he kept coming forward, but really, he could not in any way be described as a top-class fighter. It's a huge gulf between Koasicha and the top level. So we need someone, as I say, someone maybe who's fought for a world title and put up a good show, someone who's mixed it at the very top level. Then we'll know what Lee Selby's got. At the moment, we're not sure how much he has.